Hey all, Alex from Music Hub here, and today we'll be doing a review of the 1835 novel by Honoré de Balzac, Old Goriot. Honoré de Balzac, born the 20th of May 1799 in Tours, France, died the 18th of August 1850 in Paris. Restless as a boy, and even more so as an adult, Balzac never held down a consistent job or career path throughout his life, apart from writing. And the real anchor point for his writing is in his incredibly sponge-like capacity for absorbing people's personalities and being able to portray them with the written word. Balzac, like Stendhal around the same time, wrote in a very realist style, but where Stendhal maybe was more interested in making sort of broader social commentaries, Balzac is very interested in the minutiae of individuals and their respective personalities. His sequence of novels called La Comédie Humaine, of which Old Goriot is one, discusses various different components of contemporary French society, in much the same way that Walter Scott discussed British history in his Waverley novels. Note here that I am reviewing the 1951 translation by Marion Ayton Crawford, an English professor based out of Ireland who translated several other Balzac novels for Penguin Classics specifically. Old Goriot is not a happy novel. Hell, I don't think I'd say there are very many happy moments, even in isolation. The core of the book concerns this old man who we come to find out has reduced himself to poverty because he wants his two adult daughters to be happy and content, and as a result, he is being taken advantage of by just about everybody. And throughout, I was waiting for an ulterior motive to be revealed for his actions, but no, he really is just a parent who wants the best for his kids. And yet it has reduced him to nothing, and society has discarded him and dismissed him as an oddball. Even his daughters are unable to show off their proper gratitude, either due to their own blindness or because of the toxic, abusive relationships that they are in. It's a reflection of how society, specifically Parisian society in this case, doesn't value the act of selflessness. And even the book's main protagonist, this young man Eugenie, who ends up courting one of Goriot's daughters, has additional motives for winning the favor of the old man. Balzac's characters are super vivid, and him setting the majority of the book at this boarding house that everybody lives at allows the reader to meet the other residents of said boarding house. And oh man, their character introductions are super fucking detailed, even if they don't play a huge part in the plot. The general scene setting at the beginning of this book is a work of art. Both the people and the locations are laid out with beautifully descriptive language, and I really love how invested Balzac is with this aspect of his storytelling. One thing to consider as you're reading this book is that it is not split up into chapters. You do sort of have to find a logical stopping point in the middle of a wall of text, which can hurt comprehension when you're picking the book back up the next day, trying to figure out where you left off, that sort of thing. But I was able to make do. I mentioned that this book wasn't a happy one, though, and really it comes down to the ending. I don't think it's a major spoiler to say that Goriot, who is presented from the beginning as an old man, does eventually die in the book. And the depiction of his death is, I kid you not, one of the saddest and most genuinely moving death scenes I've read in a while. It is not a content ending. It is pained. There is not really a sense of resolution, and there is a theme of isolation and solitude that is hard not to sympathize with. The idea of an elderly person kind of dying alone, or at least feeling isolated when they do pass, is described elegantly here, and I would not be surprised if it's enough to make the faint of heart among us tear up a little bit. So tread carefully with that aspect of the story, but it does make Balzac's overall point resonate all the more. So yeah, all in all, I thought this book was spectacular. And while I don't have another Balzac book on the docket in this deep dive at the moment, I will read more of his stuff. This is a contender for a top 5 book that I've read in this dive thus far, so go give it a look. And that's it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. As always, more reviews are to come. Thank you so much for watching, And I'll see you next time right here on Music Hub.